Russia launched another missile attack on the territory of Ukraine. This time, the Vinnytsia, Khmelnytskyi, and Chernihiv regions were subjected to Russian missile strikes. It is reliably known that this time, the Russian military has used the tactics of the so-called combined missile strikes against previously identified military facilities. According to sources in the Russian military department, these military facilities of the armed forces of Ukraine were destroyed with the help of Geranium kamikaze drones and Iskander ballistic missiles. At the same time, it is worth noting that during this missile attack, Russia used the modernized versions of Geranium kamikaze drones, which flew to their targets at an altitude of 7,000–8,000 meters, at a speed of 400–500 kilometers per hour. All this allowed Russian kamikaze drones to reduce the time interval for detection by enemy radars significantly. In addition, it also allowed Russian drones to be outside the interception zone of enemy self-propelled air defense systems. In particular, we are talking about such systems as British-made Stormer HVM, French Crotel NG, and other anti-aircraft artillery complexes. So, in the Vinnytsia region, in the southeastern part of the city of Moghilev-Podolsky, Russian kamikaze drones struck and destroyed 2 warehouses, where diesel fuel was stored. This diesel fuel was intended for military heavy equipment of the armed forces of Ukraine. In the Khmelnytskyi region, Russian ballistic missiles and kamikaze drones once again hit the NATO military airbase in the city of Starokostiantynov. We are talking about the Starokostiantynov airbase, which the NATO generals chose as the main location to deploy American F-16 fighter jets. However, regular Russian missile strikes on this strategically important military facility do not allow NATO to use the infrastructure of this military airbase at full capacity. It is reported that this time Russian ballistic missiles and kamikaze drones destroyed several radars for Western air defense systems on the territory of this military airbase. In addition, Russian drones and missiles have again caused critical damage to the runway of this airbase. Let me remind you that at the moment, NATO is trying to place a ring around this military airbase consisting of Western air defense systems to protect American F-16 fighter jets and the runway. However, regular Russian missile strikes do not allow the Ukrainian and NATO generals to carry out their plans. Against this backdrop, the Ukrainian General Staff and NATO, in all seriousness, discussed the issue of possible deployment of American F-16 fighter jets on public roads in Ukraine. In fact, the Ukrainian General Staff and NATO are preparing a real provocation, since if Russia destroys the F-16 fighter located on one of these public roads, the Ukrainian and Western media will immediately declare that Russia is attacking the civilian infrastructure of this country, while hiding the fact of the destruction of an American fighter jet. In the Chernihiv region, in the southwestern part of the town of Nosovka, local partisans discovered a classified military base, where the Ukrainian High Military Command was training Ukrainian mobilized soldiers. In addition, there were also barracks with foreign mercenaries from Poland on the territory of this military base. It is reported that the partisans immediately handed over the exact coordinates of this base to the Russian military, and just a couple of minutes later, at least 2 Iskander ballistic missiles struck this military facility. Unfortunately, there is no accurate data on the number of victims among Ukrainian and Polish militants. However, according to Chernihiv partisans, dozens of ambulances headed towards this military base, which indicates a large number of dead and wounded.